Maryland is the first state in the nation to pause its gas tax as fuel costs have surged nationwide. Governor Larry Hogan signed emergency legislation on Friday to ease consumers' pain at the pump, I should say. Georgia has also announced a gas tax holiday, and more than a dozen states could follow. Joining us right now is Governor Larry Hogan of Maryland. And Governor, thank you for being here this morning. Obviously, higher prices for gas are front and center for just about everyone. This was bipartisan legislation. Why did you all go ahead with this move?
Well, we saw the pain at the pump with the rapidly rising prices that everybody across the country was seeing, and we decided we wanted to take some, urgent, immediate action. And this all came together really quickly. Within a week of us calling on our legislature to act, they passed this unanimously across party lines in both houses. And so here in Maryland, instead of just arguing about who's to blame for it, we decided to take immediate action to do something about it.
It makes sense, and I suppose every little bit helps, but obviously there are people asking some questions about what this might mean. Some critics have pointed out that for the average Marylander who drives 12,000 miles a year in a car that gets about 25 miles to the gallon, they're only going to be saving about $15 over the course of this 30-day savings. And again, every little bit helps, but that does mean that the state's going to have about a $100 million shortfall. And I guess that gets to the point of wondering, are you robbing Peter to pay Paul in some way if you are having to make up for those funds elsewhere?
Well, first of all, I think it makes a huge difference to the average consumer. And I can tell you that, the average price across country is something like $4.25. We're down around $3.75. So we're 50 cents a gallon cheaper than most. We have the lowest gas prices, or one of the lowest in the entire country. And I had people all weekend all over the state thanking me because they saw the difference. If they put 10 or 20 gallons into their tank and they got 50 cents a gallon, it was a pretty big deal to them. It really isn't going to impact us because we've turned our state around and gone from a $5.1 billion deficit to a $2.5 billion surplus. We have $3.6 billion in our rainy day fund. We have a AAA bond rating. We could afford to do this. It is about $100 million a month. It's not going to take any money away from any other important programs, and it's not going to take anything away from our infrastructure, which the gas tax is supposed to pay for. We're building, we're improving infrastructure all across the state on every priority project. So I think it's a big deal for consumers. I think a lot of other states are going to do exactly what we did. I can tell you it's overwhelmingly popular. Instead of just arguing about things in Washington, we actually did something.
No, I'm sure it is. I guess my point would be is if there are other states that follow suit and wind up using maybe COVID relief funds for something like that, would you have a problem with it?
I think, whatever we can do to try to help people. I don't know what other states are considering. I just know that we proposed this in a week. It got passed. I signed it into law that day and on Friday, and immediately gas prices came down dramatically, and people were very happy about it. It's obviously just a short-term fix, but I think it helps us.
It's a short-term fix, and you all are doing what you can help, obviously. But there are bigger problems here and some bigger concerns about what happens with gas prices overall. What would you like to see happen on a federal level? Because the federal gas tax has not been suspended yet.
Well, I think a big issue is just, we've got to provide for America's energy independence, and we've got to increase production here at home, and so we're not so reliant on foreign countries for our oil. And I was one of 24 governors who signed a letter to President Biden calling for just that, to rapidly change position and to help us increase production, and so we can solve this on a more long-term basis rather than us just taking emergency action at the states.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.